if you don't like weird earlobes without earrings in, end the video now. Hey guys, what's up? I am doing something super different this week. I am talking about stretched ears. I did a poll on my Instagram to see if people would be interested in this topic. Almost everybody was. Sorry to the people that aren't, because I am here to talk about it. I guess I'm kind of just gonna go over my experience and tips on how to start this and how to do it correctly or how to do it safely. First of all, I've been stretching my ears for like 8 or 9 years. I have had to take them out all the way before, and I have had a lot of different experiences with them, bad and good. I am going to start with basically how I ended up wanting to stretch my ears, and then we'll go from there. In about like 6th or 7th grade for me, it was like a super trend to wear these. If you know what a taper is, people had these, but they were fake. It was broken apart and it had a pole through it, so you could just wear it on a regular ear. It was like a piece of jewelry, and you would wear this as the jewelry. So not cute. I don't know why we did this. But that was kind of like a trendy thing to do. So a lot of people had those like fake taper. I was one of those people because I wanted my ears to be stretched so bad, and my father and my mother both did not want me to, of course. I wore the fake ones so forever, like probably for a year. And I was like, okay, I wear these all the time. I think I can trick my parents into thinking that if I get a new pair of them, but they're real, I'll tell them they're fake and it'll be fine. I began stretching my ears with baby tapers. In the very beginning, you start from your regular ear piercing size, which is usually a 20 gauge or an 18 gauge, and you go up from there. So next size up would be this size. It's very small, and you just stick it through and you stretch your ear. I used tapers and I wore tapers. I do not recommend wearing tapers. I think once you put this through, you should switch it out with a plug. You should not wear these as jewelry. It causes your ear to grow in weird ways. They have plugs that are so small. Can you even see this? They're so small and tiny. This one's clear, so you can barely see it, but they got some small plugs, so you don't need to wear tapers ever. There is no excuse for you. And also, when you get kits to stretch, don't get acrylic. This is acrylic. It's like cheap plastic. It's made of who knows what. It's a bunch of different weird plastics mixed together. You don't want to use those. So I recommend using stainless steel or glass. They probably make stone ones as well, like stone stretching kits, but it might be more pricey. So I recommend using just stainless steel or glass or stone for tapers when you're first stretching. Now, when you get to the size of an 8 gauge, you do not need to use tapers anymore. I did not know this. I used tapers up to a 00, which looks like this. It's very big. And I used it 2 sizes after that. So I had these tapers that were so big and unnecessary. You do not need them to be that big, because after 8 gauge, this is either a 6 or 4, maybe it's a 4. I don't know. It's one of those, and after that you can use tape, bondage tape. It is such a good way of stretching. It is, in my opinion, it is the best way of stretching your ears because you can do it one layer at a time, and bondage tape is so thin and it's a self-adhesive tape, so it sticks to itself and it doesn't stick to anything else. So it's perfect for stretching your ears because it's meant to be on skin, so it doesn't hurt your skin unless you have like a weird allergic reaction to it. Otherwise, I think it's pretty good for all skin types, and it's very nice on your ears. I probably stretched to like a half an inch on my own, and then I had to take them out because I was in high school still. My dad did not approve. I think my mom gave up. My mom might have given up. She didn't like them, but my dad really didn't like them and he told me to take them out. So me being the good daughter that I am, I took them out. And they shrunk almost all the way. Not all the way though, but almost. So I took those out and they shrunk, and then I moved out of my dad's house to my mom's house and decided to go for it again. This point, I'm in like middle of high school, like pretty much almost an adult, and I met the love of my life, Colton. And Colton was already at an inch, I think, when I met him. His ears were at an inch, and he introduced me to bondage tape, and that's when I learned that that's like the best way to stretch your ears when you are using bondage tape. Do not wrap the whole length of tape around your earring, because here's your earring, the width of the earring. That's a lot. So cut it. You can cut, regular bondage tape is about like, I don't know, this is like 2 inches or something wide. Unroll how much you want to wrap around your earring and cut it so you don't have all of this tape hanging off the sides. I've seen people do it. Don't do that. So this is what your earring should look like when you have tape on it. This is the best way to stretch your ears, because every time that your earring starts to feel a little bit loose, you can add more tape, put it in, and then it's tight, and then you add more tape, and eventually you've added so many layers of tape that you're at the next size and you can pop in your next pair of earrings. After an 8 gauge, I think you can do dead stretching, which I have done only recently. I did it when I went up to this size. If you wear heavy enough jewelry, you can stretch by yourself. The jewelry that I'm wearing is stone. Eventually, it's gonna weigh down my earlobe and make it stretch down, and I can just put the next size in because it stretched by itself. I just recently learned that this is called dead stretching. I think that that's the best way to do it. After like an inch, I think that's just how you should do it, because stretching after an inch is more dangerous. You can really hurt your ears that way. You can hurt your ears just as bad when you're at the lower sizes, but when you're at this size, like, you really have to be careful, because damaging your ears at this point would be such a waste of time and effort, and it would be really sad. Alright, so now that I've told you about my kind of story of how I stretched my ears, it's not that complicated. It's just, I made mistakes. I luckily did not like blow out my ear or hurt my ears at all. Blowing out your ears sucks. I've seen people do it, and that's where you stretch too fast and your ear totally just rips and explodes. So that is why patience is key. I always tell people this because people are like, how did you do it? How long did it take? I was so impatient because obviously when you first start, you're like, I want to be at 2 inches, but come on, that's not possible. You have to be really patient, and you have to know that it's going to take a while. Being patient about it is worth it, because if you blow out your ear too many times at small sizes, you're not going to be able to get up to the size that you want to be at. Another thing that I want to mention really quickly is all of the different materials, because I feel like people don't know how many different types of earrings you can have. You can have acrylic. It personally, for me, dries out my ears and makes it hard for me to stretch my ears. Stone is my favorite. Stone is what I'm wearing right now. Stone is most definitely my favorite. It weighs down my ears, which I like. The only con to this is that, like, say I'm at work and I'm like doing stuff like crazy, like, they're hanging there. So I've had this pair right here broke in half because it flew out of my ear across the floor at my work, and these were expensive. This is real opal, and it just shattered in half. So you do have to be careful with stone because they are super heavy. Another type is wood. This is a wood tunnel. You can also have wood plugs. I have these wood tunnels as well. You can also get silicone, which is the rubbery stuff. You can use it to stretch your ears. This is something that I did, and I don't recommend it. Basically, you fold it up and you put it in your earlobe and you let it open and it stretches your ear. This is bad because when you put it in there folded up, you don't know how much bigger it is than your ear actually is. You could do the next size, but once you're at big enough sizes, they're like 2 to 3 millimeters apart, and if you're stretching that much at a time, you're gonna rip your ears. And if you rip your ears while using silicone, your ear is going to heal into the silicone because skin sticks to that. When you take the earring out, your skin is going to be stuck to it, and you're going to have to rip it off, and it's going to rip your ear, and it's going to not be great. So I don't recommend stretching with silicone at all. They make like cool looking silicone stuff, so I'm not telling you to never use it, but I just don't think you should stretch with it, and I don't think you should wear this type of jewelry with freshly stretched ears. The next one is stainless steel. I like the way that these look. They're very like low profile, but they do have a hole in it, which people, I don't know why people don't like tunnels. I think I covered all of them, but the last one that is one that I would recommend is glass. Glass earrings are very nice. If they fall, they will shatter and break. So you do have to be careful with glass, just like stone. I get questions every single day about my stretched ears. First question is, how long did it take? 8 or 9 years. I'm not sure the exact date I started. I'll have to find a picture of them when they're small and I'll show you here. How big do I want to go? I don't have a size to show you. This is 1.5 inches and I want to be at 2 inches. So it's about 4 sizes bigger than this one. So I want to touch on other people's opinions real quick. I just reminded myself of this when I said that I want to go to 2 inches, because I know that the bigger I make my ears, the more people comment. And a lot of times the comments are so nice and kind, but other times people can be so mean. The stuff that people say, I'm just like, how did you even think of that? And also, how did you think that that was okay to say? When I first started working and my ears were a little bit smaller, I would get so upset. And now I'm just like, okay, like what? I'm not going to go over everything that people say about my ears, but it is something to keep in mind when you are doing stuff like extreme body modifications, like stretching your ears to big sizes and stuff. People will say stuff. If you have a lot of piercings on your face, people are gonna say stuff. You know, like people ask when they're curious. And if your ears are giant and floppy, people might ask a question or 2 or 5. Do they ever annoy you? Yes. They always annoy me. Honestly, most of the time I don't even notice that they're there. During the winter, I don't like having stretched ears during the winter because they get so cold sometimes, and I literally feel like you can get frostbite on your earlobes. So if you're wearing like something like stone, the stone gets so cold and then your earlobe gets cold and then it just doesn't feel good. So that annoys me. Earlobes during the winter time is not the best. I don't recommend stretching in the winter time. When I'm working out or doing anything with headphones in, not like these kinds, but like the kinds that go in your ears, they always fall out. I don't know what it is, like something about the way that the headphone like pushes on this, and if I like do anything that makes my ears go like that, it just pushes them out. But I do have the over the ear headphones and that doesn't bother me at all. And then sleeping sometimes I go to like lay down on my side, and as you can imagine, if you go to lay down and your earlobe's hanging there, you go and then it like, other than that, there's nothing really that annoys me that much about them, except for those 3 things. Earlobes during the winter, headphones while working out, and sleeping. Also though, once you're at a size for long enough, you can sleep with them out. You can take them out and chill in there. They could go wherever. Look, it's in my ear hole. That's creepy, sorry. But this is what my earlobe looks like. I guess I'm just gonna tell you how to stretch now. So, from regular piercing to 8 gauge, all the sizes in between that, use tapers, stainless steel or stone tapers. When you're putting it in your ear, don't do it dry. Massage your earlobe. I recommend the jojoba oil or coconut oil. I would use either of those two because they're very good for your skin. They keep your skin moist for long periods of time. I would massage your ear and then put the coconut oil or whatever oils you're using on the taper and slide it in. And if it hurts, stop. Wait another week. If it doesn't hurt, put it on in and put your plug in. Don't wear the taper. From there, you're at 8 gauge. You're ready to stretch to the next size. Use tape. Get yourself some bondage tape. You can find it anywhere. You can order it on Amazon. You can get like a fat roll for like $5 maybe. Don't use this whole thickness. Cut it like this and wrap it around the earring. Don't just like wrap it tight. Pull it tight. You want it to be super tight so there's nothing that can irritate your ear. If it's too small and the edges are up on the earring, it's gonna irritate the shit out of your ear. All the way until you want to dead stretch, I would use bondage tape. Bondage tape is the best tape. Don't use duct tape. Don't use electrical tape. Use bondage tape. I honestly think that's it, guys. So when you're stretching your ears, be careful. Think about it, because if you go to this size and you don't want them anymore, like you straight up just don't want them at all anymore, you're gonna have to get surgery. So you have to remember things like that. Like if once you're at this size, you can't go down all the way to a regular earring in like a day. It doesn't work like that. You will have to get surgery, and it's not going to be the most fun thing. So, and also people will talk, people will say things about you, people will comment on the way you look, and it might not be positive, it might be kind of mean. And if you can't deal with people like that, I would not stretch your ears, because you're gonna have to deal with people like that. If you want to stretch your ears, go for it. If you have crazy experiences or like crazy things you did to stretch your ears, leave it down in the comments below. I would love to hear your story. And if you have any other advice, let me know as well. I'm sure everybody watching this video or interested in stretching their ears would love to hear it, so leave it down in the comments. I hope your week is fantastic. I have something exciting coming up and I can't wait to show you guys, so look forward to next week's video. Let me know what you think of this video. Leave a comment down below and give me a like if you liked it. Give me a thumbs down if you hated it. Other than that, I will see you guys next week. I hope you all have a lovely, lovely, lovely week, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye, guys.